Welcome to Spin Justice with me, Hayley Owens, the podcast where I'll be talking about anything from health and fitness to the injustices of the world and everything in between. I've worked within the criminal justice system for over 20 years and have more recently taken to teaching indoor cycling, otherwise known as spin. Each week I'll be talking to a different guest about a topic that's personal to them, whether it be to raise awareness or just because. Most episodes will contain strong language because of who I am as a person, so if that's not for you, then probably best to swerve. Any opinions expressed by me are my own. Today's episode is sponsored by DNA Boxing School of Excellence. Big up to Danger and the team there for all the amazing things they're doing in the community, whether it be kids classes or one-to-one boxing training. So if you or anyone you know are interested in improving their fitness, because why wouldn't you, make sure you give them a shout. How are you, Pam?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really, really good. I'm tired,
Yeah.
but I'm good.
Good, good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for giving us your time to talk to us about healing energies, or energies in general.
Yes.
Now, there's going to be some people that are sceptical of this, and I really do hope we convert some people.
Yeah.
I think, and a lot of people, do you know what? I've told some people that you're coming on. I've put it out on the socials and stuff, and I've had a lot of feedback saying, I can't wait for this one, I can't wait for this one. So I am surrounded by a lot of believers.
Yeah.
Which is good because I believe, and I've invested a lot of time, especially since we started speaking.
Yes.
It hasn't been that long, has it really?
No. Couple of months?
A couple of months. And we had a chat, didn't we, on the phone? And as soon as we started talking, I thought, yeah, this is my kind of woman.
Yeah.
And I just thought, right, I'm into this. And since then I've joined your Telegram group.
Yeah.
And every day I'm getting these daily motivational. You spend quite a lot of time on that.
I just feel like anything that's worth doing, you should do. And if it's giving you the results that you've not had before, invest your time in that.
Yeah.
And that's where I think my understanding of energy comes into it. So when I'm putting all this thing in the Telegram group and I've got followers in there and they taking it in and they tell me that, yes, Pam, that's actually made a difference here. Or, you know, you're right, this wasn't working in our household and now it is. Yeah. It actually gives me more kind of motivation myself. Yes. And I want to do it more. Yeah, so it works. It does work.
It does. Yeah. Well, come on a bit more to the Telegram group. But let's just go back and just sort of, because I know you're a mom.
Yes.
And you've got some teaching experience.
Yes.
So tell me about that. Tell me about your home life and a bit about your background first.
Okay. So I have always been I've never stopped learning. Yeah, I think from a very young age, I just always was doing something. Yeah. And I think now looking back, it actually makes sense because I've done the astrology and I get it. I've never stopped learning. So even at uni, so I've done a BA honours degree and then I went on to do masters, so a master's in marketing. Then I became a teacher. So I was working full-time and teaching part-time. I've always done something. And then it was so I've got about 15 years worth of experience teaching. Yeah. I used to teach A-level business, BTEC business. I've taught hair and beauty. So I've done a lot. Yeah. I have 3 children of my own. So I've got a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old. Oh my, and it's, you've got your hands full. Yeah, I've got my hands full. But I love it. I love the buzz of it. And I just feel like they keep me in check. And they make me realise that, life is worth living. Oh, yeah. And I think that's so important. I think people forget to live in the middle. So when we're young, we're free, we're going out, we're partying and we're doing all sorts. Then you get married and then you have children, you think, oh, it's all about them. Yeah. But what you forget is actually about you first and then them. And I come across so many mums that have just kind of just let go. And then I stopped teaching when COVID hit home because I just had my little one. So then I thought, okay, I'm not going to go back because teaching wasn't teaching what I'd signed up for. Right. So it was more online, you know, the students were on the other side and it wasn't for me. So I didn't go back. And then I went on a spiritual journey, if I'm honest.
Love it.
I went on a spiritual journey. I found what I'd been missing. Yeah. So I do hair and makeup on the side. So that's one of my businesses.
Yes, I do follow your Instagram for that, yeah.
So I do event decor as well.
Wow.
So, so I've got my own printing company as well. So I can print banners, foam boards, posters. Okay. I do personalised balloons as well. Right. And then I do the hair and makeup. So those are my main two businesses.
You're busy.
I'm busy. And then from there, recently, I've started doing consultancy work.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am a mindset mentor.
Love this.
Yeah, and I'm a speaker as well. So I've had local colleges approach me, so I've gone and done a talk. Because I feel like the younger generation do need this talk. Yeah, just because, the 16 to 19-year-olds, they want to see real people walk in and talk about their struggles.
So are you mindset talking?
Yes. Mindset talking. And then I talk about my businesses, the struggles, because, unfortunately, a lot of the youngsters follow celebrities and they see these flash cars and the money and the watches and they think, oh God, we want to be like that.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about their struggles. Nobody talks about the start.
Oh God. And that needs
to be addressed. Yeah. So I do that. That's my background. So yeah.
Brilliant. So, right. When you said you went on a spiritual journey.
Yes.
So talk me through, because did you wake up one day and just, what happened?
Okay, so I'm going to say about 20 years ago, that book there, The Secret, was introduced to me.
Okay.
And it was really weird the way it was introduced. We were at work and somebody new started and the team was so negative at that time. And this new girl just said, you lot need to read The Secret. So we were looking at one another saying, what's The Secret? So then I bought it from a bookshop and I read it and I went, oh my God, how negative are we?
Right.
That book really hit home.
Okay.
So do you know, like when people say, hurry up, I don't want to be late. Well, you're saying I want to be late. When people say, I can't afford that. Well, you're saying to the universe, well, yeah, you really can't afford that.
I'm with you.
So that's the secret. So rather than say that, you should say, hurry up, I want to be on time. Right? Or, okay, I can't buy that yet, but I will next month. There's a way to say stuff because the subconscious mind is always listening.
Right.
So that's where the secret. So anyway, so I followed this and things still weren't going right. So what's going on? And everybody knew me as Positive Pam, knew me as, talk to Pam. And I used to uplift everybody else, but there was still something missing. So I went on this spiritual journey and then I turned religious for a bit. And then I did a counselling course.
My God.
Yeah, I did a counselling course and that answered some of my questions, but not all of them. And then I was on YouTube one day and an astrology course, astrology mentor was talking in a podcast. It was 3.5 hour podcast.
Wow.
And I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was hooked. I was like, oh my God, these are the answers. So then I did the course. I've never looked back. And it's because of that I now help other people and make them understand. So I use science, energy, and astrology to guide you into getting what you want.
And you're guiding me, I tell you what, because I've joined the Telegram group.
Yeah.
And so for anyone that I didn't even know what Telegram was until we spoke. Yeah. So Telegram's like an app like WhatsApp, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you can join without anyone seeing your number. That's right?
Yeah. So the story behind choosing a Telegram group and not a WhatsApp group is because I feel like when it comes to energy and astrology, it's very personal.
Yes.
And a lot of the people that are in the group, they're in there because they are seeking something, aren't they? Either it's inner peace or they're looking for answers.
Yeah.
And I just find, and I'm a very private person myself, so I wouldn't want my number being shown in a group and then the other people. And like you said at the start, people are non-believers. So I didn't want anything or anyone to be getting in touch with one another or saying anything. It's a very personal journey. And I feel like you should be on this journey by yourself without distractions.
Because you can't reply on there, can you?
And I've purposely done that because for me, I'm sending you a message every morning. It needs to hit home.
Yes.
Without the background noise, without distraction. So if I say to you, for example, today you saw I put it's Thursday, it's Jupiter's day, and we will go through all the planets. Clean the entrance of your house. Yeah. Now, imagine I've got, I don't know, 20, 30 people in there and they're all saying, yes, we did, yes, we did, yes, we did.
It's annoying.
And then you've come in at, an hour into it. You're going to have to flick back.
What a great idea.
I don't see why you should waste, time is energy. That's how I see it.
Do you know what? The other day you put something on, and I can't remember what it was now because my menopausal brain is like that. But you put something on and it hit home with me. Oh no, I messaged you directly. I WhatsApped you and said, I've got a question. So you were instructing us to make a list of whatever we wanted to manifest for the year.
Yes.
Because it was the Earth's moon, was it?
Yeah.
That day.
Yeah.
And you said, make a list and read it out in the moon's light.
Correct.
But you put it on the Telegram group.
Yeah.
So all I can do, reading that every morning, and by the way, you send them very early,
yes,
which I love.
Yeah, because I get up at 5.
Yeah, so one day I'm sure you sent it at 4.
Yeah, I probably did. Yeah, I probably did.
So I put my phone's always on Do Not Disturb anyway. Yeah. So it doesn't wake me up. But it reminded me because I send my spin reminders out of a morning, and I sent one out at 6:30 this week, and I got a reply saying, do you have to send them at 6:30? And I was like, I was just up. But like you, I don't get up at 5, I get up at 6. And that's my time because I don't get any time in the day.
Yeah.
I like to grab a drink, whether it's a black coffee or a tea, and I bring it up to bed, and that's my half an hour to wake up, and I go through my phone. I might put something on social media, whether it's like spin reminders have been sent out or put a story on or whatever, and I read the Astrology Telegram group. But I noticed all I could do was react.
Correct.
And obviously you're only going to get positivity from me.
Yeah.
And if I replied, it would only ever be a positive comment.
Yeah.
That's wherever I'm going. I'd never post negatively anyway. If I didn't agree with it, I'd move on. I'd scroll past.
Yeah.
But I was like, I really want to reply to this, but I couldn't.
No.
So I just contacted you directly and said, I've got a question. Is this what I've got to do? I've written my list of manifestation for the year. And you said, yes, read it out in the moon's light tonight. And I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found the moon.
Yeah.
I read it out in the light, loud and clear.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that.
Good.
So I am into it and I'm loving the updates from the group. I really, really am.
I feel like if I wasn't doing that on a daily basis, and it's like I feel like everyone's looking for something. So, for example, now, if you was to get ill now, you'd go to the doc and the doc will prescribe something for you. for that one thing for 7 to 10 days, I don't know, a course of some antibiotics. You'll go home, you'll eat it and you're fine. He's not going to get back in touch with you, is he? To say, how you doing, Hayley? Are you okay? And is he then going to give you tips to avoid that in the future?
Right, yeah.
No, he's not. So for me, yes, I've got my energies that are aligned with me, but you all need constant reminders. I need constant reminders. We are all still learning. And I feel like if we can do this together, you're going to get results a lot quicker. Yeah. So like, you can read back through the group. So every Thursday I've asked you all to mop your entrances, do the vacuum, right? So I'm not going to stop now, and I don't care if on a Wednesday you've got to do it, but it's just that little tick.
I don't know that it's got to be a Thursday. I need the reminder, Pam. I don't know what day it is half the time. I wake up, I read the mirror because I'll do that today.
But the thing, so going back to the astrology, it's linked to your subconscious mind.
Yes.
So like, I've brought all these books in today. So you've got The Secret and you've got Law of Attraction.
I've read that.
Yeah. And for me, when the books are talking about law of attraction, that's energy. When a counsellor's talking about your childhood traumas, that's energy. When an astrologer is talking about energy, I'm talking from a planet's point of view.
Yeah.
It's energy.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not, it's all energies. I follow Bob Proctor obviously is no longer with us, but I used to follow him religiously. And he used to say, if you put your hand under a microscope, you'll see loads of lines going everywhere. It's all energy.
Right, yeah. It's fascinating for me.
Yeah.
So I read my horoscope every day.
Okay.
Because that half an hour I have in the morning?
Yeah.
That's like a little bit of me time. I might flip through the news, the weather, because I'm at this age now.
Yeah, I do as well.
And I flick through the news and the weather. I might have a flick on my socials, put my stories on, and I read my horoscopes. So if I said this to my dad, he'd say it's a load of bollocks. That's what he'd say. Kick my shoes off. But I honestly do read them every day because I'm interested and I actually pay attention to what it says. I do pay attention to what it says. So talk me through then, the planets.
Okay. So first, you just mentioned horoscopes, right?
Yes.
So if you go by the Western horoscopes, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So for Western, so I'm July the 3rd. So according to the sun sign, I'm a Cancer.
Yes, and I'm the 23rd of June. Okay. So am I.
Okay, fine. So we're Cancers, right? Yeah. So, but when I do my astrology, I'm talking about the moon sign. Right. So what that means is when you were born, which zodiac sign was your moon sitting in?
Yes.
That becomes your Indian moon sign. So your Indian zodiac sign. So according to that, I am Scorpio.
Right, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's how that works. So when I'm talking about energies and stuff, I'm talking about it from that perspective.
Okay.
Because if you imagine, you've probably found this, somebody who is born more or less around the same, kind of time as you of the year, and you're like, God, how's he a Cancer? He can't be a Cancer. Why? So all the people born between June the something and July, they're all Cancers.
Yeah.
I've met loads of people that are more or less, they're nowhere, nothing like me.
So it's to do with the energy.
It's the energy, and that for me is the moon sign.
Yes.
So I think I'm more of a Scorpio than I am a Cancer.
Okay.
So you've got those. So planets.
Yes.
Right. I feel like the planets are there to guide us. They're there to help us, and they're there to tell us to lead a more humble life.
Okay.
That's how I've accepted planets, and the day everybody accepts that, you'll be a lot happier within yourself. The energies in your house will be so much more better.
Right.
And you'll be passing it on to generations.
We're going to come on to the house.
Yeah, we'll come on to the house.
On to that.
Okay.
So at the minute, and I do believe this is true, because, when we say, when loads of shit's kicking off and it's mayhem on the streets, and you go, it must be a full moon.
Yeah.
Right.
I've had that this week.
Yes. So it does, there is something in it. So like when in the police days, I spent a long period of my life in that environment, and it might be a Friday night and we'd get a battering, yeah? And I worked in custody for a long period of time, and we might have prisoner after prisoner after prisoner coming in. You go, hell, is it a full moon or something?
Yeah.
And even down to like women's menstrual cycles and things like that to do with the moon and all, I believe it.
Yeah.
So talk me through what that when you said you've had a week like that, what do you mean?
Okay. So each planet represents something in you.
Right.
Okay. So I'll go through each planet and I'll go through what colour would represent them.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what day.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So firstly, when people say your week starts on a Monday, your week actually starts on a Sunday.
Yes.
Okay. So, and I never used to understand this until I got into astrology, and now I get it.
Right.
So your day starts on a Sunday. Sunday is represented by the sun. The sun is the king of the planets. Okay. So you have nice planets and you have bad planets, and the sun is just a cutthroat planet. So if you're going to annoy the sun, you're going to have it hard.
Okay.
So if you imagine the sun is like your dad. So when we were little, Mom would save us from dad and we'd be scared of dad. Yeah. So the sun is the dad. Sun is represented by Sunday. That's why it's called Sunday.
Okay.
Okay. Sun represents your soul's happiness.
Right.
Okay. So your mom would give you the love and affection, but it would be your dad that would go and get things for you, because mom would say, no, you're not having that.
Okay.
So that's how the sun is your soul's happiness. So that's a Sunday, and it's represented by orange. Sun is the east of your house.
Right. And this is another thing, because when we had that chat a couple of months ago, and you said to me, you need to stand in the centre of your house, not just where you think it is, get the plans out from your house, the deeds, and find where the centre of that house is and stand there, and get a compass on your phone, and find out where north, east, south and west is in your house. We'll come on to the house. Yeah. But so the sun
represents the east of your house. So I have a lot of clients that say, Pam, we want to get into networking, or we want to, do online podcasts and stuff, but we just can't get there. That's because the east is not good. So the east is cluttered, or it's just full of crap, or it's dirty. Okay. Right? So then I advise them what to do there. Yeah. So then they've done it and it's worked. So east represents networking, social connections. So that's east. Right. So that's Sunday. So your week should start on a Sunday. So when I'm asking you all to make a list, if you imagine, I say, decide what you're doing today, which is Sunday. Right. I don't want you to do it on Monday, because half of you are not going to react till Tuesday, Wednesday. Week's gone.
Yeah.
Let's do it on Sunday, because Sunday is the day to make connections. Sunday. So everything I tell you lot to do is because there's an energy behind it.
It's funny you say that, because, Sunday has been over the last few weeks, Sunday has been my biggest connection day. And when I say that, I mean, because I don't have I don't have work on a Sunday. It might be the last few weeks rugby's been cancelled because of the weather, so I'm not up and out early in the morning. So on a Sunday, I've been going online and doing my networking and connecting on a Sunday, and I've had a real positive day. So it's funny you say that.
See, to me, nothing's a coincidence. The fact that you've just said that, you said that, and it's going to be, because that is the day to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So what about Monday?
So Monday is all about the moon.
Right.
So Monday is it's the moon represents your mom.
Okay.
It's the emotion. So you know how I keep saying that there's been a full moon this week and everybody's getting really emotional, because the moon is emotion.
Right.
Okay. So moon is your mom. Mm-hmm. So people that are very, very emotional, right? I found that when I've looked at their birth chart, they've not got a good relationship with their mom.
I was just about to ask you that, so I'm glad.
So if you've not got a good relationship with your mom, you're going to be emotional. Whether you admit it or not, it's fine.
Yeah.
But you haven't got a good relationship with your mom. And somewhere down the line, and I get it, not everybody gets on with their parents. I get it. I accept that. I'm not here to say go and rekindle your relationships with your parents.
Yes.
There's a lot gone on, and he's treated me like this and she said this and I did. That's absolutely fine. But my thing there would be, just don't disrespect them then. If you can't respect them because you've got your issues, don't disrespect them, because what you're doing there is you are actually you're not serving purpose for your moon. You know what I mean?
So like when I was just saying earlier, you'd only ever get a positive reaction from me.
Yeah.
A bit like when your mum used to say to you when you were a kid, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. So a bit like that.
Yeah,
be
basically.
Positive.
Yeah.
Be respectful.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So with the moon, so moon represents the northwest of your house.
Northwest. Okay. I'm trying to work out where it is in my house.
So and then on a Monday, I encourage wear white. Wear something white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So Monday, wear something white, and it just keeps you nice and calm.
Yeah.
So that's Monday. So Tuesday is represented by Mars.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm a Scorpio, so my Lord is Mars. So I wear red all the time. Oh. Yeah. So Mars is represented by your brothers or brother-like figures.
Okay.
Okay. So people, I found again when I've read birth charts that if you don't feel like you've got power in your families, somewhere down the line your relationship with your brothers is not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you are arguing too much or something like. Because if you notice, the siblings that stick together are a big, powerful entity, right? So if somebody is maybe talking about their mum and dad, they're all going to jump in to say, how dare you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if one's talking about the other one, they probably end up joining in and start talking about each other as well.
Yeah.
So Mars represents saving money.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Moon represents the cash flow.
Yeah.
Mars represents the saving money.
Right.
I have clients that have got 300K coming in and, 150K is going out.
Right.
And I say, okay, and they still want advice on how to get more money coming in. And I'm saying, no, you need to get rid of this, what's going out. And they've got debt, they've got credit cards, they've got loans. All of a sudden, all these expenses are coming out of nowhere. And it's because their south is not good.
Right.
So in the south, it should be just either red. There should be no green in the south.
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah. And the reason behind that is because Mars and Mercury, so Mars is represented by red, Mercury is represented by green. They are enemies.
Right.
So you imagine you going to, I don't know, an enemy's house, what's going to happen?
Kick off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what Mars and Mercury do. So in the south, if you've got any greenery, and I think this is really
talking, just to clarify, inside the house.
Inside the house.
Because I've got a south-facing garden and there is green out
That's
there.
fine. Inside.
It's inside.
Inside. I've got people that live in the countryside. I've got people that have got parks opposite. This is inside of the house. So in the south, you should have no greenery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So that's so that's Mars.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've got so Wednesday is Mercury Day.
Okay.
Okay. So Mercury is our teeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you said that on the group.
Mercury is the way we speak. Right. Mercury is communication.
Right.
Right. Whichever house Mercury is sitting in, you will literally be like a child in that house. You will want to learn more and more because you enjoy it.
Right.
So when I looked at your birth chart and my birth chart, we both got Mercury sitting in the same house.
Yeah.
So we love to do deep research.
Yes.
And we love to talk about it, hence why we're on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you do something that you're born to do, you'll thrive in it. And that's what it's about. So Mercury is the greenery. Mercury is the north of your house. So that's why I say to everybody, get a plant or a money plant, put it in the north.
Put it in the north, okay.
It encourages cash flow.
Right, okay.
So that's what Mercury does.
Right.
Mercury is communication. And I think I put it yesterday when I said, look in the mirror and say 5 things nice to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to do more of that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody should wake up in the morning. I know it sounds sad, but look in the mirror and talk to yourself.
Affirmations.
Affirmations. You know, if you're kind to yourself, then others will be kind to you.
Yeah.
The problem is we want people to be kind to us. Yeah. But you're not kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Why are they going to be kind to you?
I am kind to I've worked myself into the ground. I don't give myself enough rest, but I am, I'm not unkind to myself.
Yeah.
But
being kind to yourself is that me time.
Yeah. And it's funny because I said to you earlier, I love an afternoon nap, don't I? And I haven't had one today, but I did do some meditation in the afternoon. Good. And it's so funny because I use a Headspace app. It's called Headspace. Yeah. And I've had it for years and years and years, and I pay a yearly subscription. Sometimes it helps me get to sleep. Sometimes it's just there. I've been at very, very low points. People that have listened to the podcast will know that in years gone by, there's been times where I would have took any help that I could have got. And I'm going back probably want to say about 2015 when I first started meditating, so 10 years ago. And Headspace was the one that did it for me. And there'll be times where you could just hit a button. And I know how to meditate. I don't need it to be guided, but I use a guided meditation app just to try and keep me on the straight and narrow. So the one I used today, for example, was called Allow Yourself to Rest. Yeah.
And that's so important. Me time is very, very important. Yes. I have clients that book a day off work because it's me time, and then they've got a list of chores that they had to do, and they're catching up. And I'm saying that's not me time.
I know, but how do you fit it all in?
Yeah.
It's hard.
But the thing is, if you don't get that me time, you'll have to make time to then get ill.
I know.
What's the point of that? So getting that me time, if anything, will help you get through your lists a lot quicker. Yeah. Because your mindset will be there to say, right, okay, I've had me time. Let's now go. Yes. Yeah. So then I've done Wednesday. Thursday is Jupiter Day. Thursday is my favourite day. Yeah. Because it's a day of sharing wisdom. Okay. Today is Thursday. Thursday is you would wear something yellow. So Mercury, you would wear something green. Jupiter, you would wear something yellow. Jupiter is like a very big planet, obviously, and it loves to share wisdom. Okay, so Jupiter is the northeast of your house. So I say to everybody, make sure northeast of your house is nice and clean.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that's Thursday. Friday is day of Venus. Venus is the planet of love. Okay. Oh. Yeah. So I say to all my couples, especially the ones that constantly argue and fight, go on a date night. Go out we go on a Saturday. I'm like, go on a Friday.
Go on a Friday.
And they're like, you can't go out on a Friday because of da-da-da. And I'm like, no, go out on a Friday. Buy something nice, buy something sexy, go out on a Friday and have a date night.
Okay, I got a question there.
Yeah, go on.
So I'm single and very happily single. So does it have to be love involving romance?
No.
So like I love my kids, yeah. And my friends. Yeah. And so can it be that kind of love?
Yes, of course. Right. So Venus is represented by the southeast of your house. Right. Right. And Venus represents wealth, luck.
Okay.
Venus is the females in your life.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Venus loves to dress up. Venus loves perfume. Venus loves makeup.
Yes.
Right. So Venus just likes to smell good, look good, empower women. That's Venus as well. So you'll find, and I love doing this, I love empowering women. Yes. Because I just feel like, what's wrong with that?
Yes.
We're all on a journey. We're all on our own personal journey. You can't have what I want. I don't want what you've got. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. Let's just help each other. So that's Venus. So going back to your question, you could be looking good, you could be feeling good, you could be going to the gym, so that me time is Venus.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not necessary you have to be with someone to kind of accelerate the planet of Venus, but just get some me time in.
Yeah.
Go
Love
get
yourself.
that massage. I say to everybody, you saw me in the group, if you're going to get a haircut, go on a Friday.
Yeah.
Because your Venus's hair, Venus likes pretty things. Go and get that massage. Go and get your eyebrows threaded. I don't know, get your lashes done.
Yeah.
That's Venus.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then the last planet, which is, I would say, is the most, not so much important, but it is just as important as Jupiter. They're all important in their own ways, is Saturn.
Okay.
Now, Saturn is a very, very old planet.
Right.
Saturn talks about discipline. If I tell you 95% of the population lack discipline.
Oh, I'd believe you.
Yeah. They lack discipline. Everybody's motivated. And I used to think that having the right mindset, being motivated was the thing. No. Discipline. Discipline's at the top. Yeah. So you're motivated to go to the gym in the morning, but are you disciplined to do 3 times a week?
Well, for me, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you do spinning classes, yeah. So I've had people whose birth charts I've read and they've like, oh, can you tell us a quick remedy so that we can sort it out in a week?
No.
And I look at their birth chart and I'm like, it's taken you 15 years to ruin it and now you want a quick fix in a week. It doesn't work. You've got to be disciplined. So Saturn's day is Saturday. And that's another thing when I ask you lot to make a list on a Saturday and tick it as you're going along.
I do that every day.
Yeah,
Pam.
which is great. So your Saturn in your birth chart is going to be great. But Saturn talks about discipline. Saturn talks about, cleaning your house. Yeah. Saturn talks about helping the masses. So people that are very fast to judge, your Saturn is bad.
Oh, okay.
People that think that cleaners are not important, your Saturn is bad. My parents raised me, whether you're the CEO or whether you're the cleaner, they both get the same respect.
Same.
And I'm exactly like that.
Cleaners are always more fun anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I work in having a cup of tea with the cleaner.
Yeah. I work in an office and there's a cleaning lady there.
Yeah.
And in my culture, if somebody's your parents' age, we call them auntie or uncle.
Yes.
So I call her and I say to her, auntie, how are you? How's your day been? Do you need anything? If she comes and talks to me, I say, sit down. She's 60 odd, she's my mum's age.
Yeah.
So Saturn says help the masses. So the people that judge, and the people that look down on other people, your Saturn is bad. And now let me tell you how Saturn punishes you then.
Go on.
You get into car accidents.
Oh, God.
Right? You'll get fines. You get fines. Left, right and centre, you will get fines. You start, your bones start hurting. So your lower back might go, your feet. Yeah, bad Saturn. Yeah,
right.
you'll never get discipline. You'll never save money.
Okay.
And the reason I talk about Saturn on a greater scale, Saturn represents the west of your house.
Right.
The west is your manifestation.
Okay.
So if people are every day saying thank you for this and manifesting and it's not happening, but they're fast to be judging people, I'm telling you now, you're wasting your time.
Oh my God, it's so interesting.
Yeah. They need to get it. You need to get stuff the right way around. It's like going to the gym. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be going to the gym 5 times a week, right? And your diet is rubbish.
Oh God, you can't out-train it.
What's the point?
Yeah.
So I'm saying sort your thinking, sort your discipline out in your house, sort your energies in your house out first.
Yeah.
Then your mindset, watch the magic happen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It is so true.
Yeah.
And I have lots of people that come to spin and I say, you could come to spin. I've done it myself, especially the older we're getting. I'm into my 40th year now and I'm going through the menopause. So I tell you now, I can't shift the weight as easy as I could 10 years ago. So when people are coming to spin quite a lot and they're not losing any weight, I'm like, but are you eating well? Because I tell you now, it's a no-brainer. If you diet and exercise, you will drop it, I'm telling you. And I could, at the minute, and I've been on it for quite a long time, sort of like a no sugar, low carb type, high protein, high fat kind of diet. And I'm feeling great. The energy's through the roof. And you notice it, you look in the mirror, you can see the weight dropping.
Yeah.
It's it's a no-brainer to me, but I'm in the gym every day.
Yeah.
And I am very careful with what I eat.
Yeah.
But not just that, it affects my mood.
Yeah.
What I eat affects how I think and feel.
Yeah.
So I really try and be a bit cleaner with that.
So when it comes to the diet, when it comes to energies, right? Everything's got energy in it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Oh, God.
So whatever you're putting inside you, if you're eating rubbish, you are putting rubbish inside you. It's simple.
Yeah.
And then equally, if you're not eating enough and you're still not going to lose weight. So all these people that say, oh yeah, I'm on this, what's it called, that diet where they only eat between a certain time.
Oh, like I do it sometimes
yeah.
myself.
So they're only
intermittent fasting.
That's intermittent fasting, yeah. So they're doing that and the weight's still not coming off. Why not?
Because you're filling your face with crap.
Yeah.
In the times that you're allowed to
Exactly. So I've actually gone back to basics now when it comes to food. So if I think back to my nan and grand's time, there was no fast food. There was no such thing as processed food. And, if you look at all of them, they were so healthy. They were really, really healthy because they were eating natural stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So in our culture, we use turmeric a lot.
Yes.
We use masala a lot. Ginger, garlic, chilies. That's the base of our cooking. Now, each one of them is represented by a planet, believe it or not.
Okay.
And it's important for you to incorporate natural things because that's the energy you're putting into your body, and that's the energy that's going to come out.
Yeah. I'm all over it. Let's talk about our house.
Okay.
So, with you, like you said to me, you're north, you're south, you're east, you're west, and I'm in. Do you know what I mean? I've got no green in the south. I need to get. You said to me to put like a picture of a waterfall.
Yes.
In the north.
Yes.
To encourage like cash flow and things like that. I need to get that. I haven't done it yet, but I was thinking above my front door.
I'll print one off for you.
Oh, will you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm into this.
Yeah.
And I said to you last week, Pam, I need to sort my wardrobe out, didn't I? My clothes. Because I've got like my wardrobe just full of crap.
Yeah.
And it's probably stuff, back in the days when I used to be in the office more, I work from home 80% of the time now. So I'm in my scruffs. I don't like getting dressed, if I'm honest with you. But like, I don't. But a lot of my clothes in my wardrobe are more formal wear. I don't need to wear it anymore. So I went through, what did I say to you? I chucked out two, and this was like only the other day, chucked out 2 bags, took them to the charity shop.
Good.
And cleared a load of space. But if you hadn't have messaged me saying, Hayley, go and do it now, it's going to take you less than an hour. And it did. It took me about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I felt so much better.
Yeah.
So when you say a certain aspect of your house is not right, or it's cluttered, or it's dirty, or it's leaking, or something's wrong, people need to pay attention to this.
Absolutely. And I just think the people that are probably looking at this and saying, oh, this is all rubbish, then you must be happy. That's how I see it. You must be getting the results, because if you're not, then there is a thing about this energy.
Yeah.
So in our house, there are 16 directions. So you've got north, south, east, west, and then you've got northeast, northwest, and so forth. And then you've got east of northeast and so forth.
Right.
16 directions, and each of them are letting off energy.
Right.
So when people say to me, Pam, we're going through depression, or we've got fertility problems, or, as a couple, we keep arguing, I know exactly where the problem is.
Right, okay.
That's how deep I can get into it.
Yeah.
But if I was just to tell you, so there's 5 main elements, okay?
Yes.
So you've got your water, earth, fire, air, and space.
Right.
They're 5 elements. Each of them represent a colour. The whole magic in this is the colour.
Right.
Okay. So I went to somebody's house and I did, it's called Vastu Astrology.
Yes.
What that means is that you walk in, you get your compass out, and you have a look at which direction is what. And if I tell you, Hayley, half their house was covered in red.
Okay.
Now, what that means is, so in the north, it's a water element. Okay.
Yeah.
North is water. So you should have greens and blues in there.
Yeah.
They put red in there. Red is fire.
Right. Okay.
So they've put fire in a water element.
Okay.
So you're gonna have problems.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, you're gonna have problems. So north, there should be greens and blues.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
greens and blues, and that's why I said put a plant there. Get a waterfall picture there.
Yes.
Okay, so that will encourage cash flow.
Yes.
Okay, then you've got east. East is earth. You should have greens.
Okay.
Greens there.
Yeah.
I've put 2 massive plants outside my front door
Yeah.
to accelerate.
I need to get more plants.
Yeah, social network. And you said something about plants, didn't you?
Yeah. And basically, indoor plants.
Yeah.
I struggle with.
Okay.
And like you said, the energies. If you can't keep them alive, there's something wrong with the energies. I'll tell you what. Remind me, will you, after this? And sometimes I say it on the podcast when we're recording, and I completely forget because menopausal brain. And then when I watch the edit back or watch the episode back, it triggers me. So I'll write it down then. I need to get some plants for my house.
Okay.
And I need to keep them alive.
Yeah. The only way you're going to do that is you need to put them in the north of your house or the east.
Right.
If you've put them in the west or the south, they're going to die.
Right.
And the reason is not because you don't know how to look after plants. You're just putting something in the wrong place.
Right. Okay. Yeah, good. That's what I'm going to do.
And that's what you need to do. So all the people that are listening to this, if you've got plants and they're not surviving, or they were surviving in your old house really well and not in this house, it's not so much that you're a negative person. It's just because you've put it in the wrong place.
Right. Okay. Today's episode is sponsored by DNA Boxing School of Excellence, situated on Maryvale Road in Birmingham and delivering fitness for the whole family. Big up to Danger and the team there for the amazing work they're doing in the community. For more information, check out the description below for their contact details.
So north, you've got, it's a water element, so only blues and greens.
Yeah.
East is earth element, only greens. South is red, it's fire element.
Right.
Yeah. So in the south, you would only have red or neutral colours. You wouldn't have green.
Right.
And you wouldn't have red in the north.
Okay.
Okay. And then the west is your space and earth. And you'd have neutral colours there. You'd have white there or, kind of just neutral colours.
Neutral,
yeah. So again, you wouldn't put red in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how it works.
Right. I'm just trying to picture my house now, and I need to properly look at it with the compass and everything. But I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think I'm good for the colours.
Yeah. So when it comes to the Vastu astrology, I say to everybody that's 40% of your life.
Okay.
40% of your life is the energies in your house.
Right.
40% of 40% of everything is your birth chart.
Yes.
What should you be doing? When should you be doing? How are the planets impacting you? That leaves 20%.
Yeah.
20% is numerology, because I've done that as well.
Okay.
Right? And that is the day that you were born on.
Yes.
So then each number represents something.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a number 3. I'm born on the 3rd. So I'm sure a lot of people will be able to relate to this. If you're born on the 3rd, you love to share wisdom.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
yeah. You love to share wisdom. You like to, if you've watched a film or if you've had something, you want to share that with everybody.
Yeah.
Right. The only downside to being a number 3 is that we don't take our own advice.
Okay.
So you'll listen to me and you'll fly. I won't listen to myself. Yeah. We love learning, and that's another problem.
Right.
So at one point I was doing photography, hair and makeup, I was printing, I was doing this, that, the other. I was doing way too much. And it's not that I can't cope with it, but I don't need to do so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just thrive off it.
Right.
Even with my event decor business, I learned that off YouTube. I didn't do a course on it, and it's running very successful. So that's what number 6. So numerology plays a big part as well.
This leads on lovely to a conversation we had before we started recording on the planets and how they feature in an hour and a half of every day.
Yes.
Tell me about this, because I need to know more.
Okay, so most of my clients that I have, they will say that when they're on the phone, I'll say, tell me the problem. So as soon as they say, oh, we've got leaks in the house, I know that their Saturn's bad. They're Rahu and Ketu are another 2 planets, which I didn't talk about.
Okay.
They represent the southwest of your house.
Right.
If anything, they're very important because they're the ones that can really make you a lot of money, but then take it equally as well.
Right.
Right? They are controlled by Mars. That's why I keep stressing your south. It doesn't bother me how much money's coming in. We want to save it's like a rat race out there, isn't it? You know, you've got $3,000 coming in and $2,000 going out. Let's reduce the 2 and not think we need to earn another 3.
Yeah.
So that's how I think. So if you have got leaks in your house, your toilet seats are constantly broken. I've done so many clients and their ceilings are leaking. They get a builder in, 2 weeks later it's leaking again, right? That's because the energy in their house is not right.
Right.
So for me, your west is not good. West is your manifestation.
Right.
Okay. So for me, for my house, I used to have leaking taps. My boiler pipe was leaking.
Yes.
Okay. So then I was thinking, what? I'm manifesting. I've got the books. What's going on? Like, why is it not working? That's why it's not working, because your west is not right. Yeah.
Okay.
So
go on. I'm going to say the question. Remind me.
in your birth chart, right? And everybody can download their birth chart. You don't need me, right?
Yeah.
You can go online and you can just type in birth chart.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just need to know, obviously, your name. Yeah. The time of birth is important.
Yes.
Right. Don't guess. Ask your parents.
Yeah.
Or it might be written somewhere.
I was going to say, there's going to be a difficulty there if you're not in touch with your family. But
Yeah.
you can find it out, surely.
I've had a few clients that have actually got in touch with the hospital that they were born in, and they've got that information. Yeah. However, you would need your mum's ID.
Oh no.
Yeah.
There's going to be people that are going to struggle with this.
Yeah. So that's why I always say, don't be disheartened if you don't know this information and you can't see it in your birth chart. Because remember, birth chart's 40%.
Okay.
Energy in your house is 40%, and the date you're born on. So 40 plus 20, 60%. And the planets, if you just do what you're supposed to be doing anyway, you're winning. Yeah. You're winning more than you are losing is my point.
Yes.
So you put all that details in. So place of birth is important as well. And to get your birth chart. So I was born on the 3rd of July in the afternoon. Right. So I put that in. So whatever was happening in the universe, a screenshot is taken and that's your birth chart.
Right. Yeah.
A birth chart has 12 houses. Okay. So I'm going to go through the houses now. I think that's a good one. And then I'll answer your manifestation, that question that you said about.
Yes.
Okay. So if you imagine a birth chart has 12 triangles in it. Okay.
Birth chart, 12 triangles.
Yeah. Okay. So the first house is you.
Yeah.
Your physique, your personality.
Yes.
Okay. So I often see someone's birth chart and I can see straight away they're a bit arrogant.
Oh, okay.
But they're nice. But people might call them fickle-minded to think, oh, God, look at him really up himself. But they don't realise.
Yeah.
They don't see it.
Yeah,
it's because they've got a planet sitting there. And I can tell that straight away.
Okay.
Right? So people have probably told them this as well. And they're just like, no, I'm not like that. It's you. You're the one with the problem. But no, it is them. But it was written to be like that. As soon as you start accepting people for the way they are and their energy, you'll get over it.
We're not all the same.
No, of course we're not.
What makes the world
so
go
that's
round.
why when I say self-care is one, honestly, it is needed because it's the first house in your birth chart. Even God has said to you, look after yourself.
Yeah.
So, when we say you can't pour out an empty cup, it's true.
Yeah.
So first house is you, your personality. Second house is your money. Top question I get asked all the time. Pam, where's our money sitting?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Top question. Right. So second house is your eating habits.
Yep.
Second house is your money, your cash flow, basically. Yeah. Second house is your family, your upbringing. Okay.
Yeah.
Third house is your hard work.
Right, yeah.
Some people have it really hard, like, really, really bad.
Third house. When you say people have it hard, what do you mean?
So when I see a planet, I can see that they've been working from God. So, like I'm one of those people. I was very young and I was working, 2-3 jobs at a time. Yeah. Didn't have a privileged upbringing. And I'm not going to lie, I did what most people do. You play victim. You do. You play victim. But then when you get your answers, you turn it and then you look at other people and say, oh my God, I know I had it bad, but they had it worse. You become humble.
Yes.
The aim of the game is not to be a victim, is to be humble.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So third house is hard work. Fourth house is your mom.
Okay.
Fourth house is, so if I see a moon sitting in there, I know you've had an emotional relationship with your mom.
Okay.
Yeah. Fourth house is luxury. Fourth house is cars. Fourth house is property. Right. So if I see some good planets sitting in there and they're saying, Pam, what should we do? We've got this money. I say invest in property.
Oh, okay.
You've got your property. Fifth house is happiness. Fifth house is a very important house. It's your happiness. It's your children.
Yeah.
Fifth house is your children. Fifth house is also your education up until high school kind of thing.
Right.
So that's that. Sixth house is not a good house. Sixth house is court cases, debt. Sixth house is health.
Right.
So I often can tell that, look, this is going to happen to you. And then I will always suggest get some healthcare sorted.
Wow.
Yeah. Because, when things start going wrong, what are you going to do? Yeah. Seventh house is partnership. Seventh house is marriage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So seventh house, if I see wrong planet sitting there, I know how that marriage is going or would go. Oh. Yeah. But to see the health of a marriage, I would need to see both of the birth charts. Yes. You can't judge it just on one person's.
No.
Eighth house is house of mystery. Eighth house is occult. So this, like learning astrology and all that.
Yeah.
8th house is deep research.
Okay.
Yeah. So my Venus is sitting there. My wealth luck is sitting there in its own zodiac sign.
Right.
Yeah. And my Mercury's sitting there. So I always knew that this was the way forward. That's why I stopped everything else, because I knew.
Yes.
Stop wasting your time on all these other things. You're born to do this. You are wired to do this. Just do it. Yeah. So your birth chart's telling you what to do. 9th house is our teachers, our mentors, and our dad.
Okay.
Yeah. So going back to when I said at the start, Jupiter, people that disrespect their teachers, people that disrespect their mentors, not good. Not good at all, because you are disrespecting knowledge.
Yes. Okay.
And Jupiter is a very important planet. 10th house is our work.
Okay.
Okay. So it will be the style of work. What are we going to be doing? My 10th house, I've got the moon Cancer sitting there, which means whatever I choose, I'll be good at.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just got to put my mind to it. But remember, I said number 3 is we like to do everything.
Yeah.
So that's the downside to having that there. 11th house is our desires. I'm going to come back to that. And our family and friends. So if I see some strong planets sitting there, I'll say, you'd rather be with your friends. You'd rather be chilling than at home. And they're like, yeah, that's exactly what we like to do. Yeah. 12th house is meditation.
Yeah.
12th house is jail. 12th house is hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. 12th house is abroad. Going abroad. So I get a lot of students that come from abroad, and they'll say to me, are we going to stay here, or are we going to end up going back? And I can tell them that as well.
I love this. Come back to desires.
Yeah. So desires. So when you obviously do get your birth chart, you will see there are numbers in each house.
Right.
Each number represents a zodiac sign. Each zodiac sign has a lord.
Right.
Okay. So remember the planets I spoke about?
Yes.
Minus, so it will be the sun, moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus and Saturn.
Right.
7 planets, 7 lords. Whatever number is sitting in your 11th house will have a lord. Regardless of where it's sitting, that is your desire lord. I've got number 5 sitting in mine.
Right.
Okay. So there's a thing called the Hora chart. Anybody can Google this. You just type in Google Hora chart. So we're in Birmingham, Hora chart Birmingham.
Okay.
And all that does is every day those planets come into play for about an hour, hour and a half. And that's when they're listening to you. So you imagine me and you are manifesting exactly 7 o'clock every single morning.
Yeah.
And we are saying thank you to the universe for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But you've got what you wanted and I haven't. Why? Chances are your desire lord was in play at that moment. They've listened to you.
Right.
They come into play 3 times a day.
Okay.
So mine's the sun, right? And what I do every night now, because you can choose the date, I will have a look at when is the sun going to come into play, and I put alarms on.
Oh, this is great. I'm going to do this.
Yeah. So when the alarm goes off, you know your planet is listening, and it will tell you how long it's listening for. Start saying your manifestation.
So how do I know which planet I need?
So in your birth chart, I'll have a look for you after, and I will tell you what number it is.
Right.
And then I'll tell you who the Lord is.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how that. But if whoever would like to know, I am, I've just started the Healing Energy.
The Instagram page.
Yeah. So I will be putting who's the Lord for whose planet and what zodiac sign. So yeah.
So we can find
You can find out, and you can do that.
Yeah.
And that's how that works.
Wow.
And it works because I've been doing it.
I'm going to just follow it as much as I can.
Yeah.
Because obviously since we've been speaking, I've really been,
Yeah.
And I am a big believer in manifestation. I honestly genuinely think, and my cousin Lisa taught me this, she's going to listen to this and she will have read some of these books. And my friend Melissa, she's told me about The Secret today.
Yeah.
I haven't read The Secret. I'm going to be buying that as soon as I get back.
Yeah.
But the law of attraction and things like that, I remember my cousin Lisa telling me about like attracts like and things like that. And if you are saying, like you said earlier on, oh, come on, I'm going to be late. Or things like it's all about how we approach things, how we say things.
Yeah.
If you're saying all the time, God, I'm so skint.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you're constantly saying it.
Yeah.
Turn it around, reverse the energy, and it will start to reverse.
The one advice I can give everybody without anything, declutter your house.
Yes.
Declutter your house without fail, right? Stop hoarding on to things, That cardboard that you've got because Amazon delivered it, you're not going to use it again.
Mate, you want to see my house.
Yeah, you don't, just get rid of it. Get some neutral colours put into your house.
Yeah.
Let that energy come into your house.
The thing with me, I'm not sentimental really at all. I've kept some things, like when the kids were born and whatnot, and they're up in the loft.
Yeah. But that's good energy.
Yeah.
Because that's a happy energy.
Yes.
And there's a difference there.
But anything else, I've been it.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Going back to the birth charts as well, I would like to say that if you see, oh my God, what does this mean? No birth chart is a bad birth chart. Okay. So I need to stress that.
Yeah.
Right. Nothing, if your birth chart is telling you a problem, it's telling you a remedy as well. And I put these remedies in my Telegram group.
Yeah.
Feeding the birds is a prime example. Feed the birds.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good thing.
So
it's good.
Often you say feed the birds.
Yeah, feed the birds. Give to charity.
Yeah.
Go do charity work. I work at Bernardo's.
Yeah.
I do that every Monday morning because I want to.
Yes.
Do some charity work. Go to the temple. I go to the temple every week. I go, or donate things to places of worship.
Yeah,
food banks. Go give stuff.
Yeah, and I do these things. I mean, a very very brief story before I tell you my the problem I've got, the question I've got. So years ago, a couple of years back now, I was in a bit of a bad place, and it was around the time like me and the kid's dad had just started. We'd separate. We'd been probably separated for a while, but the first few years we'd got on quite well. So if it was Christmas, we could be in the same company.
Yeah.
But as time goes on and you meet other people, it's not appropriate, sometimes to spend that time together. So it come to a point where we had to split the Christmases. And it come round to the first Christmas without my kids. And I tell you what, I was devastated. Yeah. I just thought, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to get through it? And I thought I need to distract myself here. How am I going to do that? So I signed up to loads of sort of charities thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to donate my time, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, to a charity because it's going to stop me grizzling.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was the Birmingham Christmas Shelter. So it's the homeless shelter. Birmingham Christmas Shelter it's called. I do share quite a lot of their stuff on my Facebook and that. And I signed up to them and I was like, right, I need some shifts. I need to work like these times. I did a late shift on Christmas Eve and a morning shift on Christmas Day. So I literally worked till 10 o'clock Christmas Eve, went home, slept, got up, went back there Christmas morning. I tell you what, it not only did it keep my mind focused.
To shift energy.
It shifted my energy so much because I weren't sat at home grizzling, crying into my cornflakes because I didn't have my kids. Do you know what I mean? I was doing something positive. I was meeting and speaking to lots of different people, whether they were using the service or volunteering at the service. It doesn't matter. Everyone's the same. Like you said, the cleaner and the CEO, everyone gets spoke to the same.
Yeah.
And it was really nice, humbling, really, really a good thing to do. And I'll tell you what, I'd recommend that to anybody because there's lots of people that are maybe listening to this who are going through similar circumstances. And I've told so many people about it since. The next year, it was my time to have my kids. The year after, I didn't do it because I'd rescued a couple of dogs. Yeah. And I was at home with my dogs and I felt in such a good place. Yeah. And I didn't... But volunteering is good. I've also done volunteering at Acorns Children's Hospice. Yeah. If I can do it, I'll do it 100%. So with you saying that, if you've got time on your hands, volunteer. Like say food banks.
Yeah. Do stuff like, for example, now, I know people that do charity work and it's all on their social, but it's saying to say, look at me.
No, it's not about that.
It's not about that. Now, I'm not saying that everybody does that, but if I was to do something on the masses and I needed volunteers, I would put it on my social to say, look, we need help.
Yeah.
If you do it from that point of view, but if you do, it's the best way. So I do think that you need to do some form of voluntary work because one, it keeps you humble. It keeps things in check as well, right? And it just shifts energy as well. Remember when I said Saturn? Saturn says help the masses. Yeah. Help the people. Don't judge them. Yeah. Help them. Eventually, I want my own cleaning business, and I do because there are that many people out there that they're too far now. They haven't got the time. They've got ill because of the energies in their house. How are they going to get better? They haven't got money. So I do eventually want to run like a charity where we got all go and clean.
Yeah, lovely.
We empty their houses, we get rid of them, because that's the best way. If you can make somebody happy by just helping them, genuinely helping them, there is, nothing better than that. You need to be willing to do it.
Yeah.
And that's how I see that.
Right. Question.
Yes.
I've got a dripping tap in the kitchen.
Have you?
Now, some might say he just needs a new washer, Bab. What would you say?
I would firstly say to you, stand in the middle of your house.
Yeah.
Tell me what direction that tap's in first.
Yeah.
So then I know what element it is first. Okay. Then I'll advise you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the fact that it's leaking taps, damp in the house, is not good.
So like I say, I can squeeze it to death and it will stop dripping.
No, you need to get that replaced.
Yeah, I know.
You need to get it replaced, because what happens is, remember, like attracts like.
Yeah.
What you're saying to your kitchen is that it's okay, you're dripping away, and then your microwave will go.
Okay.
Yeah. So energy is going to start escalating.
Right.
Okay.
This is going to remind me when I watch it back to sort it out, because it'll be a couple of weeks difference. But if I try my hardest, I will remember this.
Yeah.
And I'll sort it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Another thing that I've just I wanted to point out as well. So we talk about the house. We talk about the energies, and everybody should keep the center of their house clean.
Right.
Okay. Because energy is going from the center of the house.
Yes.
The same goes for us. The center of us is our stomach. Right. Now, I'm not saying everybody should have a 6-pack. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is look after your stomach. Okay.
As in gut health.
Gut health. Right. So I often see that a lot of people have, they start getting problems. And that's because the centre of themselves is not healthy. So start eating healthy.
But it's so true though, Pam, because just going back to, you put crap into your body, you start to feel crap.
Yeah.
Then you might get depressed.
Yes, exactly. It's all from your centre.
Your house, yeah. And then it all gets out of control.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're like sadness out of inside out.
Yeah.
Dragging yourself around. Have you seen that film?
Yeah.
She's my favourite character, by the way. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So if I said to you, you're eating all this rubbish and you're getting a huge belly, right?
Yeah.
And your legs and your arms are fine, but you've got this huge belly. That is the clutter. If I had to compare that to your house, that's the clutter in your house.
Right, okay.
We're getting rid of clutter at our house and we're carrying this everywhere. What energy are you realistically, what are you carrying around?
Yeah.
Right? So, I appreciate that people say, that's body shaming and that's this, that, the other. But I'm telling you, nobody's saying get a 6-pack. But what I am saying to you is look after yourself.
Yeah.
Just look after yourself. And, having a very healthy stomach is like the center of your house, the energy. So from the stomach, it goes everywhere else.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So, right, we've talked houses, planets, birth charts. Is there anything that you want to cover? Anything really? I mean, because you don't want to give too much of your secrets away, because obviously you want people to be, it's more personable, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you can't say, it's not a one size fits all. I say that quite a lot.
Yeah.
On this, but everyone's going to have a different house.
I think,
chart
yeah, absolutely. I think personally, to wrap it all up, regardless of if you ever was to get your birth chart reading or do anything in your house, there's just simple things. The planets are there to guide us.
Yeah.
Right? The planets are there to remind us that there is a bigger, higher energy, right? I still remember I was at high school and we were reading Shakespeare, and there's a Shakespeare quote to say that we are all puppets. We're all reacting to, them. Yeah. It was something along those lines. They're pulling our strings. I get it. It's the planets.
Yeah.
It's the planets pulling our strings.
Right.
So I think, first things first, respect your mum and dad.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Respect them. They've brought us into this world.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying, treat them, put them on a pedestal if you feel like they've not been nice to you and stuff. I'm not saying that, but I am saying treat them with respect. Okay. If you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything nasty.
Yeah.
Keep it with your siblings, talk to one another. Nowadays it's just turned into a bit of a competition, I think. You've done better than me and I've done better than you. You're just reducing your power in life.
Yeah.
Right? So talk to one another. Again, if you've got nothing nice to say, back off. Don't talk about them, because there's a reason why they are your siblings. This is all past karma. Yeah. It's all, why am I my mum and dad's daughter? Why was I not somebody else's? It's karma. We're all connected. Yeah. Respect your teachers. Respect your mentors. Don't mock them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're sharing wisdom with you. You don't know when you're going to use that. Okay. Be humble in life. Don't judge. I find everyone's very quick to pick up the phone and say, "Oh, do you look? She said this and he said that." Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Read a book.
I don't really think that. I don't like that.
No, and it's not nice. It's not nice. Treat the ladies in your life with respect. Like in my culture, boys are put on a pedestal and the girls are left behind.
Right. Okay.
Parents carry on having children until they get that son.
Right.
And the son's not even respecting them when they're older.
Okay.
And the girls are then, there's so many broken women out there. And, they've gone through trauma in their childhood. And it's that energy. And then like attracts like. So then they end up marrying into a family. The same. And then they're getting separated. They're not happy. Okay. And then what do? They push that trauma onto their children. And then the children aren't happy. Where does it stop?
Yes, you've got to break the cycle.
You've got to break the cycle. And one of the things I'm going to say is it's okay getting educated. It's okay thinking, okay, I'm going to educate myself on these planets, but uneducate yourself first.
Right, okay.
So everything that you've been brought up with and saying, oh, you're a girl, don't do that. Why can't I do it?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Or you're there judging another woman because you believe you shouldn't have done that, so she shouldn't. Uneducate yourself first.
Yeah.
Uneducate yourself first, then get educated.
And I think a lot of negativity like that comes from your contentment. I would say I'm content. I would never look at another woman and try and be nasty.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I think, there might be people that are not necessarily my cup of tea, but I wouldn't be nasty. And I always think I'd never be jealous looking at a woman. If I looked at a woman and thought, oh my God, she's absolutely got it all going on, I'm thinking, how do I get in on that?
Yeah. You know what, Hayley? I think it's not our job to save the world.
Nah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not our job to save the world. Our energies are aligned with us, right? Our people will find us. And if you're struggling or you're getting disrespect, they're not your people.
Exactly.
Let go. Just let go and because until you don't let go, how are you making room for your people? Like I'm going to be 43 this year. Yeah. And I learned all this, in the past 3 years?
Isn't it funny how you hit your 40s and you find out who you are?
Okay, so there's a story behind that as well, because in your birth chart, one planet dictates your life for 20 years, 10 years. And when that realization comes into play? You realize some people it's 40, some people it's never, because they're no longer here.
Right.
Yeah. So
I feel like I've got friends that, because a lot of us are turning 40 at the same time, I've got friends that are really dreading it.
Yeah.
Dreading hitting that 40th mark. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's mine's 5 months away. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm like, bring it on.
Yeah.
I'm
no,
ready,
definitely.
It's taken this long for me to work out who I am.
Yeah.
And what I care about in life more than anything. I mean, obviously, you always care about some things like your kids and whatnot, but things that don't matter to me, I couldn't give a toss about people that, are not part of what I'm about.
Yeah. When it comes to age is honestly just a number. I know 20, 25-year-olds are so mature and you're like, wow. Yeah. You are really going to do well. And I know 40, 45-year-olds that are they've not learned anything.
Yeah.
What a waste.
But it's funny because I've got some friends that are like early 20s.
Yeah.
And I've got friends that are like in their 60s.
Yeah.
And
I'm the same.
I'll just gel with them people.
Yeah.
Like I've got so many friends that are so young.
Yeah.
And I think back to when I was that young, I was mental.
Yeah. But I just feel like if you just did what we're supposed to be doing, what the planets are asking us to do, that's the divine energy that is controlling everything. It's okay manifestation and it's all right saying every day these affirmations, but there's a higher energy. Yeah. That's the planets.
Yes.
That's the planets. And that's how I see it now. And I swear by that because I've done it to myself. I've, sorted the Vastu out in my own house. Even my children are, inclined this way. They, know what day it is. My 4-year-old knows when it's Tuesday's Brother's Day.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's like, Mummy, it's Brother's Day today, and he will go and give his brother a cuddle.
Yeah.
So what's he doing? He's strengthening his Mars. That's good. Mars is power. We all want power. You know. So it is all about that. So I do think the more we get into it and we understand it, and if anything is making you humble and appreciative, what more does anybody want?
Yeah.
The world needs more of that.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's it. And going back to empowering one another, that's it for me now. That was my purpose, and I'm doing it.
And that leads on really nicely to the spin justices of the week, because I think I know what yours is, but I think they both sort of feature in what we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
So you go first.
So mine is women have to work like they have no children and raise children like they've got no work.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of moms that I speak to, and they are struggling. They are struggling because they're the ones that have to do the school runs. They're the ones that have to sit and do the homework. They're the ones that have to work, and they're the ones that have to cook, clean, and do everything. So for me, and I would like to say at this point, if your woman doesn't feel like that, well done.
Yeah.
Well done. There are men out there that, do help in the house, and they don't make their women, and, hats off to you. But I have found there are more women that don't get that support at home. They're the ones that have to go from full-time to part-time. They're the ones that have to finish work early to go and get the children from school. It's all on them. And that to me is an injustice of the world.
Yeah, I like that. And it's so relevant. I mean, I know a lot of men that are really good and really helpful and hands-on dads. Yeah. So, credit where it's due. But again, I feel like it's funny because Hayley Brown, who is another lady who does a podcast called Inadequate Mothers, I listened to an episode of hers yesterday, and she actually featured a clip of Paloma Faith. It was an interview with Lorraine Kelly, and it's all about the mental load and about co-parenting. It was about solo, single parent.
Oh yeah, I saw this on your story.
Yeah. And I always say I'm single, but I'm not a single parent.
Yeah.
Their dad's great.
Yeah,
We've got a good relationship now.
Yeah.
And Paloma Faith was sort of saying that it's not a 50-50. Because the mothers tend to take a lot of the mental load.
Yeah, they do.
So it'd be like, the PE kits need to be ready for tomorrow, or the homework needs to be done, or whatever it might be. And that is true in most cases.
Yeah.
I will, as much as Tom is a fantastic dad, he wouldn't know a lot of the stuff, He wouldn't know what day's this and what day's that, and the teachers, and do you know what I mean? It's just the way it is. And he will accept that, I would imagine if he listens to this, because he does listen. He will say, yeah, you're probably half right there.
Yeah.
If I need him.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I've said to him, there's an issue with the school, I need you to sort it, I'm too busy. He's on it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the mental load that the mothers are picking up, and it's on our mind going, I need to sort that, And sometimes we don't voice it, so it stays in the mental load and it stresses us out. So,
I'm going to say on that just means the energy's in your house. Okay. Because I think if you sorted out the energies in your house, you'll get clarity of the mind, and then you will start voicing it. So do you remember at the start when I said it's 40% what we're doing, 40% is the energy in our house? Yeah. So I think once you do that, you'll get it sorted.
Do you know what this is going to bring me very, very briefly before I talk about my spin justice? I had some acupuncture, I told you, didn't I? Yeah. So I had some acupuncture. If anyone's interested in the acupuncture, I did put it on my story, but it only lasts on there for 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah.
If you're interested after listening to this, drop me a message and I'll put you in touch. So it was on the ears.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a little bit like reflexology on the feet, where the big toe will represent the head.
Yeah.
It's like different parts of the ears represent different parts of the body, and the chi within our body. So like you were saying, the energies and the clarity of mind are different parts. So I had like 5 needles per ear. Didn't hurt. And you have to sit, she puts the needles in the different points, because there's certain points where it has to go. You have to sit quite still for about 40 minutes. And I tell you what, that night I had the best night's sleep in ages.
Yeah. So all that's done is it's actually activated energies.
Yeah. Yeah. And she said to me, it's like a reset.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'm actually booked in for a course with her, to have like a course of 6, and I'm going to keep this up.
Yeah.
Just like the massages that I like to have, because I'm on the bike all the time. I need to loosen up every now and then.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to continue it. and I'm hoping that it, like you say, more clarity of the mind
absolutely.
and stuff like that. So I'm all over it. My spin justice, and I'm hoping you might have an opinion on this. I talked to you about it yesterday, I think it was, and it upset me in the morning. So I've got a day job, as we all know. I don't talk about it much on here because I'm obviously currently employed by them, so I can't really talk too much about it. But in any case, I went for a promotion. It's the second time I've been for this promotion in the last 6 months and not got it. Not got through. And I'm like, why? Why is this? I'm doing the job. I'm doing the job. I'm just not getting paid for it. So, and this has been the story of my life. It happened to me in the police days. I'd be going above and beyond and not recognised. And it's happening again. And I know I'm very good at my job. I know, and that's not me being big-headed. I've got a lot of experience in that area. So I am. People come to me for advice. I deliver talks up and down the country on different sort of topics, mainly custody-based, because that's what a lot of my experience is in. So I'm like, why am I not getting this job? What is it? But like I spoke to you, and I'm not ashamed to say this. I got the email at like 6:30 in the morning, and I was like, fuck's sake. Like, it's like a bit of rejection, isn't it? When I made a cup of tea, took my tea up to bed, 6 in the morning or whatever it is. That's my time. And I felt myself getting teary. And I was like, why is this bothering me? I don't even care about it. My passions lie within the spin and the podcast. I like the job, don't get me wrong. It covers my mortgage. It provides me a nice life. It's a very flexible. It allows me to be present for my children. I'm in a good position. But when it comes to passion, my passion is in things like this, and it's within the spin and the bike.
It would be, because your 8th house, I've told you this. Yeah. Your passion is in communication. Yeah. It's the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, why is this bothering me? Why am I getting teary about this? Do you know what I mean?
Because you're letting yourself down.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're letting yourself down. You know your worth.
Yes.
You know your worth. But I think you're putting, again, that kind of acknowledgement in somebody else's hands.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you know your worth, but you want that verification from someone else.
Yeah.
Why do you want it from them? You know your worth. And did you ask them, why did you not get the job?
Well, I'll come on to that. So I spoke to you about it quite early in the morning, because you're probably one of the only people that I know were awake at that time.
Yeah.
So I know that, we were in communication at that time in the morning. I told you about it, and you were like, listen, it's not meant.
Yeah.
What's meant for you will not pass you by, and it's not meant.
Yeah.
And I know that where my passions lie in communication and things like that. I'm a very good communicator. But, yes, I did speak to my boss. So he contacted me later on. I forwarded him the email. I sent him a WhatsApp saying, I've dropped you an email, pick it up later. He contacted me, and he's a great leader. He is. I respect him a lot. I respect his wisdom. And, he's going to retire soon. I know he is. And I'm like, I need to learn as much as I can from him. And I've got a few people around me. It's funny when you talk about people around you and women around you, a lot of people and mentors for me are men.
Yeah.
And I would say the majority of the people I speak to on a daily basis that I seek advice from are men. And nothing sexy. Yeah. This is like not like that, do you know what I mean? Like just on a straight up one-to-one basis, I don't know why I gravitate towards them.
Yeah.
So he said to me, I just want to check in. I want to make sure you're okay. I can't believe this happened again, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, it's not about that. It's about me grafting. Like you said, hard-working, people that work hard. I graft from the minute I get up to the minute I go to bed. And it's like, why have I not got that? I'm working hard. Why has that happened again? And it was like, I said, it's just like the injustice of it. It's just like, I'm doing the job, for God's sake. Like,
so
why is it happening?
What was the feedback?
So he basically, like, I won't go into the ins and outs of it, but he said to me, do you want to know my honest opinion? In 12 months' time, you'll be part-time for this organisation because your passion lies elsewhere. Yeah. You already have dropped a day. Yeah. So I started off there 5 days a week.
Yeah, I know you do.
Within 12 months, I dropped down to 4 days a week. I've been there about 2.5 years, obviously, where I am now. Yeah. Obviously, my 20 years experience is in another organisation, the police. And he said, in another 12 months, you'll be down to 3 days or even 2 days, because you'll want to keep your hand in because it's good for you. Yeah. But there will be a time when you fly off on your own because that's what you are about. so I was like, do you know what? You're right. And it's strange because I talked to someone on the way in. I was on a call on the way in, and it put a lot of it into perspective for me.
Yeah.
In a different path, all to do with communication.
Yeah.
I thought, do you know what? It is what's meant to be for you will not pass you by.
Exactly. And my take on all of that is that sometimes we keep trying. We're knocking on the same door. That's not our door.
Yes.
That's not our door. So stop knocking on it, and look behind you. There's another 4 doors.
Yeah.
Go try one of them. I've always said this, that I've seen your birth chart and I've told you it's communication.
Yeah.
And, and also, how you're saying you're not getting paid for it and you're not doing all this. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Stop it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What if you know that's your worth and you're not getting what you think you should be getting?
And this is it. The first time I didn't get the job, I didn't have a tantrum, but I basically said, see all that's in my diary that I'm doing from goodwill, like family liaison managing and things like that, networks. That I'm not getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Drop it out.
Yeah.
Drop it out of my diary because I'm not doing it.
Absolutely.
And my work rate went like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff I was doing I weren't getting paid
for.
So that's knowing your worth, and they can't argue with it because you ain't getting paid for it.
You need to know your worth. Unless it's charity work. Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Unless it's charity work, why would you do it? And the fact that you've gone for it twice, if they cannot see what you've done, that's not your energy.
And I know it isn't. And I know
and again,
it took me to just get a little bit like teary and then to speak to you and to speak to a couple of other people, have that feedback with my boss, and he just said, you will fly. You will. Because you've already reduced down. Yeah. And you will, in 12 months' time, you won't be working for this organisation as much as you are now.
Validation.
You might keep your hand in for a bit.
Yeah. Validation needs to come from within.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do know. Mate, I know.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like I needed a little check.
But you needed to go through that to feel this.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Life's a process.
Yeah.
Life's a journey, not a destination. And people need to understand that. So the people that sometimes say, oh my God, I've been doing this for ages, but you're doing it for ages and you also know what else you can do. Yeah. So why do you keep doing it? Yeah. Again, going back to this victim being humble.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Needed that. Right. Shout outs.
Okay, so firstly, obviously, I'd like to shout out for my mum and dad. Yeah. I love them loads and they are so proud of me coming onto this podcast. Oh, good. Yeah, I FaceTimed my dad this morning. He was so proud. And my mum, I've spoken to her, really, shout out to my parents. Shout out to my teacher, Astro Aaron Pundit. That's who I did the course with. Right. Amazing teacher. He's on YouTube. He's got 2.5 million followers. Honestly, he just has transformed my life. A lot of his students are all from India. I was very blessed that I can speak Hindi. I understand Hindi. His course is in English and Hindi. Right. So I learned from him. So yeah, just want to say, honestly, lots and lots of gratitude to him. He's an amazing teacher. The way he teaches, he makes you laugh, full of knowledge. He's a lot younger than me. He's in his 20s from what I think anyway. I'm sorry if I've offended you. But he's an amazing teacher. So anybody who's looking at getting into this line, go check out his courses, check out his YouTube channel. Yeah, I will. He's amazing. I'd like to give a shout out to my brother, one of my brothers, Ammon. Yeah. He's a PT at UP Gym in London. Okay. We're both Scorpio and our energies are so aligned. He is 12 years younger than me, but he has been like my rock. He's helped me, guided me. We're constantly talking and I'm so proud of him and his journey. So yeah, shout out to him. And finally, shout out to my 2 besties. Lovely. Yeah, Pam and Nisha. They have been also my rock. Haven't got sisters, but they have literally, I do their heading every single day. They're in the group as well. And I share so much with them. So yeah, shout out to all the women out there that are doing the best that they can. Yeah, it's wicked. Love it. It's funny because when you talked about the women in your life, I think of my friends. Yes. I think of my mum. Yeah. I've not got sisters. Yeah, yeah. So we've got a group, the Trouts. And the 7 of us, including me. So they would be, they're the women in my life, so we need these women.
I mean, I've got lots of women in my life, lots of, so if they're my group, they're my day ones, and then I've got lots of other groups, and then I've got lots, you know, like that friend there and that friend there. And there are lots of women. There are a lot of men. I have a lot of male friends but I've got a lot of female sort of inspirational figures within my life.
We need to uplift each other. We need to uplift each other. We need to be there for one another. If we've got nothing nice to say, we don't say nothing. You know, don't judge, give advice.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I am getting a lot of clients coming my way now. And you can, you know, find all my info on my Insta channel.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Love it. So my shout out, along with the Trouts and everyone else who I've just mentioned, there's a few other podcasts that are being really supportive of me and vice versa. So I'm just going to shout out to them, because I know a lot of people that are listening to this have been new to podcasts and they are waiting for the Friday to come round, because they're like, so in the meantime, like, don't let it overtake mine, like, but the Two Cocks podcast, one of those is actually coming on next week. The Talking Tradesman is another podcast. He'll be on next month and I'm going on to his. So again, it's all about collaborating with each other and sending each other advice and sharing each other's stuff, you know. And then I've already mentioned Hayley Brown, who's the Inadequate Mother.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I've got a voice note there that I've not listened to yet, but I listened to her podcast when I was in the car yesterday. I've listened to the Talking Tradesman today while I was getting ready. I listened to the Two Cocks like quite often. They're really funny. So it's these other podcasts where you find out things, you know,
absolutely.
And it's you're finding out little bits about other people. So I'm going to shout those three out. So if you want other things to listen to, they're your three. I absolutely love this chat.
Yeah, no,
I feel like I've got to make loads of notes.
Yeah. I think everybody will be making notes.
Clearing all the red out of their eyes. But yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you for calling me onto the podcast. It's been amazing.
And we will do a revisit.
Yes, we will.
We're going to do a revisit in a few months when we talk about other stuff, because there's too much to fit into one session.
Yeah.
Thanks, Carl.
Today's episode was sponsored by DNA Boxing School of Excellence. If you have a topic that you want to discuss, get in touch at b31spinjustice@gmail.com or via Instagram @spinjustice.